everyone. I will give a presentation about what happened with my last research assignment. I chose to research a topic that is close to my heart. It's quite difficult to conduct this research because it operates about a language barrier, and the language barrier has certain sensitivities because I don't know anyone that speaks Dutch fluently. And a lot of the Dutch that I've heard is a lot of English being used, which is fine because Dutch has a lot of English words that it recognizes as Dutch words, and the Dutch people are well known for their technological advancements. For example, the windmills. The Netherlands is the country that is the Dutch nationality, and its national symbol is symbolism includes the windmill because they use it to keep the waves off of the land and harness electricity and mill flour. Not sure how many of those things actually happen now, but there's definitely operational windmills integral to the country. And that's about the technological advancements of the country. Some other background includes that it is run by a monarchy. Another Dutch symbol is the tulip. The Netherlands houses large tulip fields, and tulips grow through regeneration via tulip bulbs. I actually have some. They look like this, and they come around the tulip stem, and they spread out from the tulip like this, and then out comes a sprout, and it grows into a stem, and the stem grows into a tulip, and then the tulip grows, and the tulip has a long life cycle of durability, and then it gesticulates or something, and it makes these bulbs. It makes like 5 bulbs into the ground around it, and then the bulbs can be harvested when they're ready. Usually the flowers are dead. I've never seen a tulip die. Sorry, that was scary. So, tulip regeneration is a really important part of the country because it upkeeps national aesthetic, landscape, and history, and it's been massively abundant within the country for so long that in doing all of those things, it also contributes to the necessity to have a monarchy. The royal family has been generationally passing down their inheritance for centuries. Their inheritance includes very specific cultural customs, property, land property, architectural property, estate property, and personal property, and crowns massive amounts of jewelry. These jewelry pieces have historical significance, credentialisms in a way, and seen on people that were very important to people, that were very important to the country, that were very productive at being the royal family, and then appeared with these jewelry credentials in their fashion history. And the Dutch language is very important to me because of its relationship to the Arabic language. Arabic is read as symbolic. Dutch is symbolic. English uses the same alphabet as Dutch. It's in that order to me because Dutch letters and words convey things that in English usually people say in long sentences, where the English words are more like nouns overall. Like watch that. W-A-T-C-H. Right, these are all repeatable symbols that are simple to the mind, and they all represent things. And there's just like more numbness to English, in my opinion. Things are very descriptive, and it's just kind of overwhelming. Dutch is very communicative, back and forth, personified. For example, Gewoon, VGEWOON. So it walks you through a face before there's the W, and then it references the W for you, and then it will have that little tap effect of the N, and it's a way to approach clothing. It's a way to approach women, basically, because it sounds a lot like go on, and it also sounds like geweest, and so in prompting women to focus on their clothing, there's this kind of like indoctrination into the honor of the family. And monarchies in general are very family focused. Presentation is very important because it shows the family, and the success of the family is very important for the success of the country because of the estate guardianship that each of these people do. And also because in continuing the blood ancestry and cultural management of the customs, there is a blessing for the fertility of the land and the natural ancestors of the land, which are its animal life. There are very few predators in the Netherlands. Their mice are very small. Their birds are very small, both because they like to sit inside of the tulips. And this is very important to Dutch people. There's other ways to get to know the Dutch royal family and what it's all about. And the reason I started off with the language barrier issue is that all of my research is happening in English for the class. And I have additional work translating. So this research topic is really important to me because the current royal family has some mysterious issues that I personally deeply believe in. So I will just explain them as my claim or something. My investigation is as follows. I believe that the current king and queen are my birth parents. And I believe that the people that raised me were not them and are the parents of their oldest daughter. And I am supposed to be 3 years older than her. And I believe that they only have kept their middle child, who's a girl, their middle daughter, Princess Alexia, looks the most like them. She also looks healthy and Dutch. And she also looks like my face. She looks like she's had braces of me, and she looks like she was somewhere else of girls that I am now. Like, how did she get out of her face? It's just crazy. We're basically identical. And their youngest daughter is gigantic. And a lot has been said about this in their presentation of their family photos. I've been investigating for a long time, and I've seen a lot of family photos of everyone's family. In their Instagram, Dutch Royals, they posted a family tree, and I have seen the king among men that are not his brothers. I have seen a man here that was nearly interchangeable with the king in experience of someone who wants to meet with a king and that king. It was like it had been a parcel of that. And the reason I was sure there was not a reason that was his face was because he had his children with him, and they were not his children. from there, they really look quite a bit different. So it's a lot of information to process in terms of like crime and perception and reality and like emotion. I have been researching them as my family a lot of investigative ways. I have drawn collages assembling families that look more similar, and I've been assessing this as a wide-blown problem. I've been assessing it as possibly not occurring, and I've been assessing it as occurring again in additional photos. I included ChatGPT as one of my research sources because Princess Amalia is the girl that I think I was supposed to have been. And her thesis project is a thesis saying, it's basically a paper. She wrote a paper, and it was like her VA. I don't know, it was very confusing because it appeared that she did not graduate. And that part of the news didn't explain why she was starting another VA. But I think it's some type of associate's degree like we have here. And they have some kind of keystone project, and her thesis was in English. And it's emotional because of the war. There was recently a war that impacted my family. My family being Queen Beatrix. She was relocated to England during the Holocaust. And knowing many people in the Netherlands as I do, it's quite emotionally loaded. Queen Beatrix speaks in Dutch, and that's this core part of her integrity and the responsibility I feel to be speaking in Dutch and doing a good job in Dutch. It's quite emotional because I can't really do that, all things considered. And so seeing that she has written her thesis in English is like another stone turning in a way. I just wish that I had more information about it. And I feel like I just scroll through so many photos that it's really difficult to cite. And her thesis was about deepfake internet bodies and personally I follow a lot of AI artwork accounts that specifically make very humanistic models of fairies and mermaids glittering, and usually it looks like really magically inspiring, like a totally safe world. And I love AI because it's so helpful to me when I'm working on language barrier issues. So, this is an overview of the status of the war. If you'd like more information about the war, it's as follows. Queen Beatrix's community was photographed during a famine that affected the Netherlands. Because people restricted food delivery into the country. And it was a method to assess the people for survival, which was really traumatic. And one of the photos is a woman that is undoubtedly the ancestor, if it was like a little bit younger than ancestor, of Princess Amalia's grandmother. Her name is Karen Langland. And her daughter, Jacqueline Langland, is Princess Amalia's biological mother. But that is played out by me. And she lives my life. And Jacqueline is not related to them. Or she is related to them. She's related to Princess Amalia because her ancestors' wall is the same as her face. And they look out of themselves the same way. And I live on their house, in a tiny house, because I have nowhere else to live, and I have no way out. So I just ascertain how much danger I'm in by researching and investigating. And it's very scary. and have this plan to dress the way that Queen Maxima would be proud of me and post it on the internet. And also to tell other people that I believe this is happening because of things like Queen Maxima being peace on earth to me and my favorite person. And everything that I believe is celebrational about the world. And also the reason that I have difficulty recognizing my grandfather now, because in my opinion he only had one of his 3 sons, and they've done horrible things, like one of them's dead now, and the other one was so mean to his wife. She wore a dress of gold lace. It was gold silk with tea colored floral tea leaf like lace in some kind of overdress, and she held a dark chocolate brown sheen colored taffeta shawl, pashmina, but it was taffeta or something like it, and she was glowing with happiness because of the way that her ensemble bragged. Also, her shoes were especially part of the outfit too. It all went together very well, and it made Queen Maxima really excited about her future fashion prospects in her social life. And this woman I'm talking about is Princess Laurentian, and her husband is the other brother of Prince Klaus, and his name was Klaus Jonkier. There's a dish, a rice dish, Kier. It takes hours to cook because it's simmered with milk and spices for hours. So his name is John Kier. It's integrally part of the story, like his family home, which in my opinion is the safest place in the world, and also very contributive to a very straight-faced approach to life because it's very structured. And his other son with the different face that's not straight-faced in the world, his face is like diabolical, and he, in that date of the outfit I explained, he wore a sash. Sashes are a big part of these outfits. I've been introducing outfits about 4 sashes are part of it. This goldish clementine orange sash is a family color, and there's another one that's lined with blue. So it's like sandwiched with blue. And he said he was the orange on that date, and then they had another date, and she had been told to dress in Nazi-approved colors, and she had come over to his way of thinking by wearing the other sash and being sandwiched in it like a different, lesser way. And he was like, just wait about this. Ooh, I'm getting interested in you. And then she was like, well, you know what? Here's pink and all my hair gone. And that's how it's happened now. She's just cut all of her hair off. And, this is this curing maneuver with steaming in the cure. Must keep cooking for the whole time. It needs to be stirred. And he is the John Cure, which is like a boy's name. It's kind of like Joe or Doe, Jane Doe and John Doe. Right. So there's things like that don't make sense, except for in the abduction, Illuminati, stolen babies world. And that's the world I've been researching. Thank you for listening to my research.